Hello everyone and welcome back to Explain 11. In this video I am happy to present a payware Concorde I recently acquired. This is by Kolimata. It is an early access plane, which means it's not featured complete yet. They're still working on it. But it is available for, as they put it, friendly users, and I consider myself one of those because I previously got Kolimata's FA-18 and attempted to fly it around the world because I was so fond of it. And that didn't go so well right at the end, where I was coaxed into doing some ill-advised maneuvers during a Twitch stream. But anyway, yes, I was confident that there would be good quality coming from this particular plane, and it looks very nice so far. It is heavy on the frames. We are also in JFK, and I have some very intense scenery of Manhattan around here somewhere. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, until we get well over the ocean, we're not going to be getting proper frame rates regardless of what plane I fly, but you can see the quality of the texture. We'll get a better look of it in flight as well. But I guess we might as well take a quick look around. It's a little bit close to that light pole, unfortunately. That just happens to be this gate. I don't know why. Anyway, inside looks very good. And if you saw my video with the freeware one, this is quite a bit different. And it of course allows you to do a cold start with it, and we will be doing that. The back end, the instrument panel for the engineer is not quite complete with the dials, but the switches are. The switches are all, as far as I can tell, functional. And of course the Concorde is fabulously complicated, so we are going to have to do some work with it. It comes with this graphic user interface, and again, not everything is done yet. See this in development stuff, but what's done is pretty darn good. We've got the seating arrangement, and we can reduce passengers, increase passengers mass. It shows you a range estimate. We're gonna try and fly this from New York to London. Actually, we're going that a ways, and I'll see if I can manage to fuel properly for that. And of course, this isn't the first time I've flown a Concorde, and I have flown this Concorde already once to try it out. And hopefully I can do a good job of it. But it's got a lot of information. The trim, use of the trim tanks, for instance, we can see here. I should probably top off the fuel if we're going to go across the Atlantic. And the engine status, center of gravity, doors and such. So yeah, I'm fairly pleased by its current situation, but the main thing that we need right now is checklists. And we've got the external checks. The safety check I'll temporarily skip. So first of all, ground power on, and I'm pretty sure that's on the engineer panel. We've got these buttons in the bottom left that allows us to easily jump from one place to another. But it is so complicated in here. I need there is a cold and dark startup guide that I'm referring to see where all the buttons are. And actually for the ground power, we activate it in the menu that we had just seen, the GUI. So we need to access in aircraft, doors and ground, and GPU ground power available. Okay, so now we have the ground power, which also comes with the ground air supply. So now we can turn on the main batteries, and those are... This will take some practice. Here, bat, on, very good. Equipment bay cooling panel, check and set. Equipment bay cooling over here. When it says check and set, it's in the cold and dark startup guide. It says the equipment must be cooled, containing many electrical power consuming systems. So I assume we turn those on for now. I think that's probably best. That's normal, on. I don't know about, we can keep off the standby, I suppose. Oxygen panel, that seems important. But oddly enough, the oxygen panel is down by the right here and very hard to access. That's no fault of the model, but oh, see that switch. The cover is separate from the. So I'm gonna get down here and off to the side and try and. There we go. You'd think that that'd be easier. Now, I don't think I need to. I guess we could toggle these a little bit, but I think as long as we turn it on, we should be safe. Okay, drain mast heaters. So those are on the pilots overhead. There it is, drain mast heaters. I think up is off and down is on. We probably want those on. Okay. So INS 1, and 2, and 3 need to be aligned. That's back with the engineer. That says align. Maybe we should put it on standby first. Okay, so and then this one. There's 3 of them. I don't know. Last time I tried this, it didn't work very well. I mean, I know these alignments take like 10 minutes, but last time I left them on for 10 minutes and they didn't do squat. So it's possible that that wasn't implemented, but then again, I've messed this up on other planes before, like the 737, 757. I keep messing up the INS thing. Anyway, air data computer. Air data computers are back. Okay, back there. On. So now we get to do the seatbelt lights. Normally they're up here somewhere. But there are a lot of things that aren't normal about the Concorde. For instance, the Concorde doesn't have an APU. Doesn't have an auxiliary power unit. So we have to start the engines parked. Otherwise we don't have the ground supply. Oh, there's a no smoking and fasten seatbelt. Sorry. Odd angle. It's right up there. Right in the back. Alright, next. Okay, master circuit breakers checked. We need to shove in all of these. Got the auto stabilization 2 systems, electric trim 2 systems, and artificial feel 2 systems. There's power flight control circuits for the elevons. I don't think there's any need to fix those. Alright, anti-stall systems on. Rad ints is here. That is on rad. And it is also there for the co-pilot. Yes. All of the instrument transfer stuff is fine. Altimeters. Let's get back to the pilot seat. Well, let's just set this to 0. Audio panel comm on. So, I think that should be fine. Okay. Nav radio set. I don't have any. I don't want to talk to anybody. We're fine. Parking brakes are back there. Better view of them. It's. Oh, it was in park. Oh, you almost got there. Oh gosh darn it. There we go. All right. All right. So now we need to set the throttle masters up here. Here. To, they need to be on main. So they seem to be already on main. Off, they light up. That's typical. Things usually light up when they're in the wrong position. And nav lights. Sorry, I'm upside down, but nav on. I'm got to turn anti-collision on. Ground hydraulics, check out. Yell off. Well, it's yellow and it's all off as far as I can see. so that seems fine. Fuel heaters. If you were wondering whether we would actually be using the engineer panel, yes, a lot actually. The engineer does quite a lot. Engine recirculation valves, there we go. Shut. Secondary air doors. We are going to be taking off with reheat, so we're setting them to auto. Batteries on normal. I think we already did that, right? Let me just check. Everything seems to be flicked to normal, so it seems good to me. Alright, next. INS check ready light on. See, now this is what I have a problem with. The light. Well, maybe I should have pressed test. But that says fuel vent. This is computer 3. See, now it doesn't have the light up for the ready. Maybe that's just not implemented. Last time I was able to fly without that saying okay, so I'm going to assume that that's just gonna be okay. And speed limit bugs, that's already okay. Fuel flow bugs will be fine. I mean, we can go up to the front panel to take a look at those. We already have markings on the speedometer, as you can see, red, yellow, and green. You can move that bug, but it's not required. And the fuel flow is right here. And so we could tweak a bug. Oops. To set some sort of standard, but we're just gonna go with it for now. Okay, so clock. Well, it's 12 minutes elapsed time. Load sheet checked. It seems like we had enough fuel for our intended thing. This is still in the works though, but 4,000 nautical miles will be fine. Mind you, there is a maximum mass for landing, and I think I'm trying to figure out which page we can see that in. Status. You can see we're currently too heavy for landing, but maybe we should top it off and see. Oh no, I think it'll be alright. Well, if I fall in the Atlantic, it'll be interesting. Well, this range estimate doesn't jive with the other range estimate. This says 2,784. Alright, maybe I'll top it off. So let's just increase the fuel to however much we can carry here. Not that much. Alright, we'll go with that. And let's see how that is. Apply changes. And what does it tell me now about our range? Well, it says we're over the maximum takeoff weight actually in here, but the range has changed to 3,374. Let's take off a little bit of the tonnage. You can see this number is a little bit weird, unavoidably. Status. That's a little bit more than I wanted to take off, but alright, 3,208 nautical miles. What did it say about the... It's close. It's gonna be... we'll have some suspense, it'll be fine. Alright, I don't need to ask anybody for clearance, and door lights I'm sure are fine. Well, I mean, they're actually back on the engineer panel. I think I remember where they were. It's not down there. I think this is the door lights right here, and so if any of the doors were open, those would turn on. Master warning. Let's see. Light test. Oh, let's get all of them. Yeah, okay, that sounds like a master warning to me. Okay, anti-collision array turned on. Throttles are idle. Engine feed pumps. That we need. That's the engineer panel again. Okay, fuel management here. And yeah, here we go. On. Up. On. Okay. We've got a bleed air source from our ground supply. Cross bleed. I believe that's these valves, but let me double check. Okay, yeah. Cross bleed. Open. Valves. Okay, engine off for more than 4 hours. I'm gonna assume that the engine has been off for more than 4 hours, so I'm gonna keep that to normal. I don't know what debow means, but apparently it is something that you have to do if you haven't had it off for a long time. And I'll just point out that switch is over here, engine debow. So we've got them all on normal, otherwise we'd have to flick them down. Okay. Start valve. Now we're talking. So we're gonna start the engines inside first and outside. And let me just take a look and see what it suggests as the preferred order. It's either 2314 or 3214. I'm gonna go 2314. And I'm gonna start them all on the ramp. I tried before starting just 2 on the ramp and that worked as well. So that's not a problem. The start switches are here. And I'm just going to go ahead and click to start. It always goes to relight first and then start. So it should be starting and we can see that from here. I don't have to move my camera. Engine 2 is building up on the N1 and N2 RPM there. And once the N2 RPM is above 12, we hit the HP valve, which is here. And so that's open now. What that does is that just feeds propellant into the engine. And now you see the fire light is on for this. And if that stays on when N2 is beyond 30%, that will be a problem. That might mean that the thing is on fire, apparently. So that's the thing that's glowing is the emergency shutdown handle. And it is safely off before N2 got to 30%, so we are happy. And then once the engine is up to 67% on N2, we'll start the next one. And I'll only shut off the bleed air when all of them are started. Okay, I heard the click of the starter being reset to its previous position, so engine 3. Okay, we can feed fuel into engine 3. So far, only engine 2 is visibly on. That doesn't sound very good, though. Wait, oh, it got a puff. Okay. It's puffing smoke now. Alright. So that started. Okay, I could probably reach the switches from here. So let's do engine 1. Interesting startup sound. Okay, that is looking good. And now, last but not least, engine 4. In a way, the startup sequence is simpler because there's no APU. You don't have to start that and stop that. Note our fuel contents ticking down like a kilogram per second already. Okay. Well, we can inform ground that we don't need the power anymore. And the air. So. Okay, that's off. Okay, well, I guess we'll just continue with this. Conditioning valve on. There. Hydraulic pumps. Hold on, I think we can shut off all the air bleed. Well, it says hydraulic pumps first and then electric generators. Okay, let me get this in order now. Okay, so the hydraulic management is up there. On. And then electric generators. Below it, right here. And that's, I guess they always flick to test first. Okay, those are on, and now we can shut the engine bleed valves. Just gonna do all of them. So up here, emergency hydraulic gen, ground bypass. It is already set to that, it looks like. The galley stuff I accidentally flicked on earlier. SSB switch is closed. Alright, that seems to be alright. Taxi lights on. The ground equipment is already clear, and now we get to do pushback. I'm going to lower the visor now. I don't know if that's going to get in the way of the pushback truck. We're going to use better pushback for this. Okay, there's a lot of swirly things, but I think basically what we want is something along these lines will do. Or are we supposed to? Pretty sure this way is better. Hopefully this is right. Okay. And
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Alright, start pushback. So I mean, this has already been a long startup, but I'm not going to be showing the entire flight. I'll just, once that we take off, since it's just Atlantic Ocean for the most part, I'll give you status updates,
Okay.
and then
all doors and hatches are closed.
and then we'll
Ready
hit the
to
landing
connect.
when we get there. Oh, there's a bunch of trucks right behind me. There's a bunch of trucks right behind me. Uh-oh. Hope they don't get in my way. That's always awkward. Oh, right, they cleared. Oops. Trying to get a good camera view here. I need to learn how to use X camera. I have it. I have X camera, but don't use it nearly enough.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Okay.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, engine anti-ice off they want. They're all off. So, engine idle switch low. That is here. Engine idle switch low. Ground idle. Okay. Brake fans. Brake fans are on. Engine control schedule. Flyover. I think it's already on there, or... Well, that's as far left as it seems to go. Okay. We've got the engine feed pumps definitely. Hydraulic steam check. Yes, disconnect please. There are no flags. There are no warning lights. CG fuel transfer. Now this is a particular setting in here. Flight engineer. Trim for takeoff.
Tail is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand
So-
signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
So this actually... I'm seeing two of my engines seeming to get turned off here. Wait, things are not going well. I wanted trim for takeoff. I didn't say shut down, did I? Well, I think my engineer just shut down the engines. I could have the flight engineer start it, but... Why trim for takeoff? I didn't mean to click engine shutdown. Maybe I accidentally did that. Engine start. I already did it once. Okay, it sounds like the engineer is starting up the engines. Well, that was his fault, shutting them down in the first place, so... We will let the engineer do that. So if you want to see an auto startup, it'll do it. As you can see, it's automatically starting them and flicking those fuel switches and everything. I guess this is good for a demonstration. Anyway, I'll go through the rest of the checklist. Engine auto ignitions on. Engines auto throttle on. They're all on takeoff. They've started again. Those need to be on. Okay. There is a special takeoff limiter. This engine for takeoff N1 limiter has to be set to 88%. So we have done that. Sorry about the flickering. I think that's the clouds are causing weird lighting issues. We will quickly go above the clouds and that will no longer be a problem. Interesting effect on the tail there. Not too sure it is a valid takeoff direction on this runway or anything like that, but I'm a Concorde. I will take off where I want to take off. Yeah, rendering options set too high. Probably. I'm sorry, I come from old school flight sims where we got, you know, maybe 5-10 frames per second, so... Alright, let's do this thing. Check the cockpit briefly, but I'll mainly take it from outside, I think. Let me just get windshield de-ice. I always forget to do that. Okay, here we go. Like I said, we'll have burners on. It's a cloudy day in New York, so we're not gonna do much sightseeing anyway. Oh. I think I was a bit premature. Ooh, quite. Wow. Good thing we have that little wheel on the tail to stop the tail from hitting. Probably not a good idea to have pitched up like that though. Okay, noise mitigation. You can't really see Manhattan right now. I think it's the clouds. Our max viewing distance, I think, is the visibility is like 10 nautical miles only. And clouds. Okay, well. Clouds on, clouds off. Actually, the Concorde manifestly looks better in the company of clouds, actually. Oh, okay. Alright, we are clear of those clouds, but still pointing up dramatically. Maybe we can mitigate that a little bit. I'm sure there is a more efficient climb. I'll figure it out eventually. So let's see what it looks like in here. Fuel flow, the last digit is in the tenth place, so I think it's 10.1 kilograms per hour. Sorry, 10.1 thousand or 10,100 kilograms per hour each engine. And you can see we've got 80,000 kilograms. So right now we've only got 2 hours worth of duration, which is definitely not enough. Well, especially at this speed, but even going high speed, that would not be good. We need to get higher up and faster as soon as possible. Which airport is that? Republic Airport. The inner side looks particularly nice. I would really like to be able to go faster right now. Yeah, the shading on it right now is really good. Not so much at this angle, but that angle I like. Let's see. Oh, that's classic. Definitely classic looking. That's a nice one. That could be a photograph. A lot of it. That's actually a very nice sort of 70s photograph right there. It could be. The blue hue is sort of that period. Nice clouds though. I don't mind staying at lower altitude for the clouds. So the thing to remember about the Concorde is you can't really push it past the speed of sound until you get to a decent altitude. And that's basically close to 40,000 feet, maybe 35,000 feet or above. So I'm carefully trying to nudge it closer and closer to there. I mean, we're already flying at regular airliner speeds, but I don't really think there's any angle where it doesn't look good. But anyway, I might be biased. We can see the last bit of Long Island there. At least fuel consumption is nice and lower at this altitude, 4.3 per engine. Yet another reason why you won't want to ignite the afterburners at lower levels. But let's see what the UI says is our range right now. It's not going to be good. Status. 2,778 nautical miles. Not good enough. Now, I think it's allowing for some reserves, but still. Well, we're at Mach 0.94. Maybe I should just push it on and get over with. We're at 33,000 feet. Alright, I'm gonna light the afterburners. You can see the fuel consumption go up tremendously from 4.4 to, let's see where it ends up. It's like quadrupling. 14 it's at right now. Not quite quadrupling, but still. You do not want those on for any extended period of time. Mach 0.97. It might be too early. I might have been too early. Mach 1. But we have to go through the whole transonic region. And we've just hit transonic drag, that's why we started going down there. Gotta be careful with it. Sort of nudge it along. Once we're past Mach 1.3, we will be through. But we do have to keep going up because we're hitting close to that, the Mach overspeed. We're climbing. We need to climb at a rate that does not bring that Mach number down significantly. Speed, the indicated airspeed can go down, but the Mach number shouldn't. I'm gonna get the autopilot ready. I'm gonna have it hold. I'm not gonna cross the entire Atlantic trying to trim this manually. That would be a pain in the rear end. Gonna have it go to 57,000 feet. Actually 55. I think it normally did 55. And then drifted up, but still. 57 might be a little bit more fuel efficient. Oh, we're going down in the Mach number. Okay, down.
40,000 feet.
40,000 feet is probably where we ought to break Mach 1. But anyway, we got here. It's okay. I'm only gonna use the altitude hold on the autopilot. You can see at 40,000 feet, the Mach limit is much higher. Oh, I don't know if I want to tell the flight engineer to retrim the tanks for cruise, but probably ought to. Last time I told the flight engineer to trim the tanks, though, the engine shut off. To see how much drag is involved in the transonic region, it being so reluctant to increase its Mach number at all. Oh, interesting. Yeah, the chrono, I think, resets itself to how long we've been on Afterburner. And so I think it's saying that we've been on Afterburner for 4 minutes there. Now, yeah, so Mach 1.3 is where we're past the transonic region now. And we will accelerate very smoothly. We can go up now. I'm gonna trim for flight. Alright. Afterburner off. Let me see if that clock, the clock is holding at 4 minutes and 28 seconds. That's how long we had the afterburner on. Okay, we better check inside. It seems like we're going pretty fast now. 1.76 Mach. Let's keep going up. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Climbing. I should stop reaching the Mach overspeed, but I keep looking outside. And unfortunately, it doesn't give the Mach number up with the other speeds. It's got indicator airspeed, estimated airspeed, true airspeed, ground speed, and the miles per hour. But there's one slot there where it could dump the Mach number, but no. I think that as long as we're over Mach 1.5, we should be able to accelerate to Mach 2 without any problems. Once we level out, of course. Again, there was a click that I don't know what it was. It definitely happened. Oh, you know what it was? I bet it's the engineer doing the fuel trimming. And the clicks are actually the shift in the pumps in the back there. I think that's what that is. Well, we're looking pretty good. It's 5.5 per tank. That's 22 altogether. By my count, I mean, of course, not accounting for the reserves, we've got 3 hours of fuel. Okay. Altitude hold and autopilot. It'll wiggle around a little bit, but eventually it'll settle down to 55,000, hopefully. Hopefully I didn't give it too much work to do. Okay, I think it doesn't like that. Hold on.
Autopilot off.
I'll bring it up to 55,000 first. Well, let's see what its prediction says now. 2,545 nautical miles. Okay, so time for a status report. We are halfway across the Atlantic, or thereabouts. The Atlantic is big and it's sort of vague. But, yep, we are at Mach 2.02. We currently have 42,000 kilograms of fuel remaining. Each engine is consuming about 5,000 per hour. So we're talking about 2 hours. Not reserving a whole lot there, though. But I believe we should be getting in with plenty of fuel to spare. And yeah, no apparent problems. The altitude hold has been working well. I don't use autopilot a whole lot in flight simulators because I sort of feel like the deal is to fly it yourself. But anyway, I should probably learn more about that. The only issue right now is that we're probably going to end up landing at Heathrow in the dark. I don't know. Right now we're a little bit further north. You know how the flight paths arc north. So maybe the sunset up here is a little bit earlier than down at London, but it might be quite dark once we get there, unfortunately. On the bright side, that means... On the bright side. It does mean that we'll get to see what the Concorde cockpit looks like in the dark. Interesting, in the darker light, we can see more detail on the skin that makes it look quite a bit less perfect than without the shadows. Very interesting. There are ripples on the skin. And the moon. That's probably a good view. Alright, I'll talk to you again once we get to Ireland or Britain, whichever we hit first. Okay, well, it's really dark, but we are passing over Ireland. You can see various cities there. We just passed Coot Hill, and there's Shercock over to the right. We're fairly north of Dublin. And we'll be, over the Irish Sea pretty soon. We're still going full speed here. We're going Mach 2.02. We still got 26,000 kilograms of fuel. We're consuming slightly less than we were before, because we're lighter. And yeah, basically that's the situation. Don't know exactly when I, strictly speaking, need to start descending with this, but probably around Birmingham. I'll take a look at it. That'll be a good distance to London. Other than that, this is how the cockpit looks in the dark. Pretty well lit. No problems reading anything. Okay, we have acquired East Midlands information, unfortunately. I'll just leave that be, but we're passing by Birmingham. And I'm gonna start descending. Unfortunately, the night textures seem to load in chunks that are insufficient at this altitude, shall we say. Definitely insufficient. Okay, so I'm gonna begin descent, and so I'm gonna take it off of altitude hold. I'll leave the... Actually, I'll take it off of autopilot altogether.
Autopilot off.
2979. Well, we'll assume that that's how it is at our destination as well. Apparently I can't get 979. I can get 978. I guess we'll have to go with that. So, past Birmingham, and we still have 23,000 kilograms, so we had some substantial range and reserves left over. Well, my in-game map seems to have gotten messed up. Let me see if accessing it through this special method helps. Nope. This map is stuck on Newfoundland. Newfoundland. Oh, now the map has reset. That's good. Okay, well, I see Heathrow on the map, so I'm gonna break below Mach 1. Probably stayed above Mach 1, strictly speaking, a little bit longer than I ought to. But, you know, I'm in a rush. And there we go. We are subsonic again. Concorde, a mere silhouette in the dark. Well, I can't see anything outside now. Is that because there's some intense clouds? Or has something else gone wrong? Is something eaten all the cities? Oh, suddenly the cities appear. Hopefully it'll stay that way.
Overspeed warning.
Oops.
Throttle
Hey,
back
that,
on
oh, that's on the... I've been looking at the Mach number the whole time. I missed that my indicator speed went over. So over to our left over there is London. And it's probably creating immense lag. That's the trouble. Everywhere that the Concorde went was a big city, so... It will be lag, because I've got decent scenery around here. Oh, suddenly I see clouds. Don't see... Oop, don't see the ground yet. But at least now I know there were clouds in the way. Okay. Well, hopefully I can lose enough altitude before we get to Heathrow, otherwise I'm gonna have to just fly over it and come around again. We're turning towards it. Okay, we can see Heathrow in front of us, and there is lag. I'm gonna drop the visor. Not drop the nose yet, just drop the visor. At these speeds, it should be alright. Much better. Well, somewhere in those lights is a runway. Gonna drop the nose now. Only a bit, to 5 degrees. Thought it would help the visibility a little bit more than that. Okay. Okay, I see the runway. Good times.
Gear down. 4 greens.
Good.
Wrong fuel trim. Should I change it?
Oh yes, fuel trim. Wish I could mention that. Okay, trim for landing.
Fuel trim to landing.
Well, glad for the reminder. Seems like we're too low, it says. At least the PAPI lights say that. Okay, now we're about right. The lag is serious.
Feet.
I'm not entirely sure what the plane can take at
300.
with this fuel load. We're low. Okay. Oh, we're way off. How did we get here? Lag.
300 feet. $200 feet.
Oh. God, it's tough to land it like this.
100 feet. Reverser retracted.
Yeah, I wasn't intending to do the reverser, I was intending to idle.
40. 20.
Oh,
10. Reverser deployed. Retard. 10. Retard. Contact.
I thought we had contacted a few times before. Oh, that was a horrible thing. I don't even want to know what that looked like from outside.
Reverser retracted.
Okay, we have arrived at Heathrow, but I need a lot more landing practice, probably at places that don't have this much stutteriness. Maybe, you know, Edwards Air Force Base or something. There's not a whole lot around there, and it's pretty good for high-speed testing. Anyway, we have arrived. It's been a long flight. It's pretty late at night for me. And I can barely see the taxiways, so I'm gonna put on the brake here and say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please do press like. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.